Alright, what's up, y'all? How do I start this one off? I've always been a small guy. I've always been kind of quiet. You may not know that about me, the quiet part, because whenever I put the camera on, I gotta talk. I gotta say a bunch of something. Otherwise, I'm wasting your time, alright? But anyway, the reason why I say this is because, you know, for as long as I can remember, people have always been trying me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever see me as a threat. You know, I've always been kind of skinny, and like I said, short. Voice is light, and just bad posture, just bad, not very snappy person. Well, I mean, I am now, but I wasn't always that way. And if it's one thing that I realize about my life and about people picking on me and things like that, is that a lot of conventional wisdom, oh, I don't even know how the fuck you would call it wisdom, but a lot of conventional wisdom, it doesn't really work. Okay, I'll break it down. Ignore them. They'll go away. No, they won't. You ignore somebody for some shit, they just gonna keep doing it. They gonna keep thinking they can keep getting away with it. All right. So let me go ahead and stop that right now. I've been, people have picked on me many times, and it ain't until I started throwing them hands. All right, now I got some respect around here. Now you're not fucking with me no more. All right, now you want to be friendly. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. All right, that's the advice that I would give to my daughter. Even, you know what I'm saying? So when and another thing, since I'm gonna talk about this, is that another piece of advice, where they say, "Oh, only hit them if they hit you." Uh, no, okay, because there's a lot of children right now, and this is very important. You know what I'm saying? I make myself look stupid, but you can't argue the facts. You know, um, a lot of children right now, I mean, as young as 8, even younger than that, are killing themselves because they're being bullied. And I would tell my daughter, before you ever think about killing yourself, you better beat somebody's ass. All right, you better make them feel it, because that's what happens. They get bullied. Parents who mean well and things like that say, oh, even if they go to the school or something like that, or but trying to preach to your kids not to practice violence. Now it sounds good on paper, and you don't want your children going to the world putting harming others, but other people have been affected by they just bullies. And one of the number one reasons why children are bullies in the first place, and this isn't necessarily about children, but I'm gonna keep rolling with this one, is one of the number one reasons, if not the number one reason why children become bullies, is because their parents aren't around enough. So, it's not even necessarily because they're in an abusive household, but their parents might work too much. So they don't get the attention that they want. They do things to get attention very subconsciously, actually. I know this because, even I had some issues like that. Not necessarily with bullying, but with anger. With anger because I didn't feel really connected with anybody, to my mom or anything like that. So I remember being as young as 7 years old, and I got suspended for punching like 6 people in class. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily proud of it, but it didn't just come from nothing. I mean, okay, well, I did see a couple things. Like, I did see my mom get punched when I was like 4 or 5 or something like that by my stepfather. So maybe that could have something to do with it. But fact of the matter is, I grew up with a lot of anger, and so I just want to say that, yeah, you thinking you ignoring a bully is going to make them go away. I don't know who would even give that type of advice. Only people who haven't truly been bullied. You know what I'm saying? If you want a bully to go away, best shot you got is punching them in the face. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds crazy. And also, yeah, sometimes you got to hit them first. It just is what it is, because now we are at a point where we understand that, you know what I'm saying, verbally abusing somebody it rivals physical abuse. It really does. You know what I'm saying? Now on paper you couldn't really justify, oh, he called me a bad word. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, there's enough studies to show that verbal abuse, when you got a child in a position where they have no choice, they had to go to school, they put in this position for 8 hours a day, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about elementary school alone, with a kid who's bullying them. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? All right? So either they do something about it, or it's going to eat them up from the inside. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could tell you that ignoring bullies make them go away. No, I know how to make them go away, and it's going to require fucking 5 fingers on each hand. You know what I'm saying? Balled up into a fist. You know, I mean, it is what it is, and I don't really want to make this about the kids because I don't even know why I wanted to even talk about this. I forgot. I was reading something earlier, and they were talking about bullying. So I felt like it was time for me to speak on this. I felt called to do this. But in my adult life, if you think the bullying stops in your adult life, it really doesn't, especially with social media. Now, with social media, that's a different concept. I won't speak on that, man. You just block or just, that is actually where you ignore them. You block them and shit like that because, I mean, you get nowhere online. But anyway, but in actuality, man, you really have to check people. You have to always, even if you're shaking, even if you're afraid, you gotta be willing to. You gotta check people, man. I mean, I don't know, like most people, you be surprised, man. Like, and you probably understand this, but I'm gonna go ahead and remind you anyway, man. Most people, man, they some cowards for real. They some cowards, and you know what I mean. It's one thing to be a coward, where you just kind of live in fear and shit like that. I mean, I understand that. I don't mean to call you a coward or whatever, but for lack of better terms, it's a spectrum thing, as opposed to a lot of these people who bark a lot, make a lot of noise or whatever, but they really ain't about nothing, man. It's like those goddamn little dogs always barking. As soon as you step to them, they start running. All right, so I don't know who convinced a lot of these people that they gotta talk the talk, like somebody not gonna check them and tell them to show their work. All right, so that's one thing that I really realized, man, because if you know anything about me, is that I do not like to. I like fights. I like boxing and MMA and things like that. I don't like confrontation. I don't like getting into a yelling match. I don't like I don't like starting nothing with anybody. But that's the thing, man. These people, they don't got no home training. It don't matter how old they are. They ain't got no home training. They think they can just talk to you however they want. Now, in this particular situation, I'm not saying you got to throw hands, but you got to be willing to. All right, this is a different ball game when you're an adult. And, you're not necessarily forced to be around somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to talk about, like, when you got to go to work or something like that. Even still, that's kind of in your hands. Like, if you don't work that job, you know what I'm saying, your parents not going to go to jail, or you're not going to get taken away and go to CPS or whatever it is. But as an adult, man, like, if there's one thing that I realized is that the more you face your fears, the more you realize there was nothing to fear at all. And and that's like, it's like I've been told, face your fears and watch fear go away. Watch fear turn away. Watch fear cower. All right. So to sum this all up, the best way to deal with bullies is check them and always check in with yourself. Never internalize what somebody who has ill will has to say about you. Never internalize that. All right, because you never know the type of poison these people have been fed, man. You never know what their life is like. You never know what type of demons they dealing with, man. Real demons, man. I could tell you one thing. You know what I'm saying? I try not to get too private, but I am kind of transparent. So, I mean, I never try to get too personal, but I am somewhat transparent, and I can tell you, man, because my uncle, man, he was a bully. You know what I'm saying? Even being around him now really makes me uncomfortable. And I got into a fight with him last year. But his years of bullying and being evil spirited to people, that shit has been eating him up for a long time. So when he go to sleep, when he sleeps at night and things like that, you can hear he always screaming in his sleep, man. I never seen anybody else like that. And I don't think there is no coincidence, man. When you put a lot of evil into this world, when you put a lot of bad into this world, it sticks to your spirit, it sticks to your energy, it's part of your aura. You know what I'm saying? So I like to, I take a bit of pride in who I am, so I'm going to go ahead and toot my own horn a little bit. But that's why, like, when I meet somebody for the first time, or when I get around children, or when I get around animals, it's an instant link. You know what I'm saying? I'm magnetic in that way, and people feel like they can trust me. You know what I'm saying? If people, they approach me and they will spill it all open, because that's what my energy, kind of allows. That's what my energy promotes. You know what I'm saying? That's why anybody who hears me, they might not always agree with what I say, but they gravitate towards me because they know that it's not coming from an evil place. All right. So even to ensure that, I made sure that I took care of a lot of my demons, because I don't want my child to have to experience some of the things that I experienced. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why I wanted to chill out on the drinking and the smoking, and, just want to practice great habits, exercising frequently and meditating, and, making sure that I'm eating enough, and making sure that I'm expressing myself, and being honest and setting boundaries for myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. You got to draw the line in the sand when it comes to bullies. Anybody who wants to manipulate, do anything to cause you harm. All right? Because at the end of the day, when the fight's all over, when the show's all over, when the confrontation is all over, you have to go be with yourself. All right? You can't avoid it. There's always going to be a moment, each day really, where you're going to have time to yourself, whether you're in the bathroom, or in the bed, in the car, wherever it is, you're going to find time alone, and you're going to have to deal with that. All right? So you can keep trying to drown it out all you want, but eventually you're going to have to face yourself. And what you will realize as I finish this off is that you can be your biggest bully. You know what I'm saying? When they say you're your worst enemy, you can be your biggest bully. Can't nobody put you down like yourself. So, and also, likewise, can't nobody lift you up like yourself. So you need to raise your fucking spirits and stop playing with these bitch ass motherfuckers. Because I ain't playing with you, all right? We got a lot to live for. Let's do it.